Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new exclusive WWE interview on TNT Sports. Our guest this week is marking 20 years in the professional wrestling business, and October of 2024 will mark 20 years since we were first all introduced to him on Tough Enough. And since then, he has pretty much done everything possible, imaginable in the WWE. He, in my opinion, not only has achieved legendary status, but just as of 2023 alone, he's doing some of the best work of his entire career. It is none other than Mike, the Miz Mizanin. Mike, nice to meet you. And how you doing?
I'm doing absolutely awesome. Are you kidding me? After that introduction of all my accolades and everything I've done, it's pretty nice. So I'm feeling pretty good.
You know what? I'd love to start there, actually. 20 years in the business, there or thereabouts. Do you ever get time to, smell the flowers, reflect, look back on where you came from, your journey, and what you've accomplished in WWE?
Feel like I do actually. You think with with WWE you're always on. We don't have an off season. So it's 365 days a year. You're the Miz, you're WWE superstar. But when I come home, it's Mike, it's Dada for my two daughters who are 5 and 4. And so it's pretty interesting to go back to where I'm from, my roots, which is Cleveland, Ohio. When the holidays come around, I try to get back there, see my friends from high school and, just reminisce about old times. So yeah, I do actually get time to, and I pride myself on that because that's what keeps you grounded. And it also keeps you motivated and keeps you going because you always want more. And I definitely want more than what I have even right now. People are like, but you've done everything. And it's like, yeah. And it's still fun. And I still have that drive to do more. And so I'll keep doing it as long as it's fun.
You mentioned your family there. Is it tougher or harder, the older you get, being on the road and, potentially missing out on moments with your family? Or have you been able to strike a good balance there where you still make sure you're there for birthdays and holidays and what have you?
I have a great balance, but you always want to be there every day, all day. You don't want any days where you're gone from your children. Whenever I have to go on the road and I have to like kiss them goodnight, it's like, Dada, I'm not going to see you tomorrow morning. It's like, no, you're not, sweetheart. And it breaks your heart, but you're doing something, that's going to help them hopefully in the long run, and you're doing something that makes you happy. Because I think sometimes with family, you forget about, you're working so hard with your kids to make them happy, to fulfill all their dreams. And when you forget about, wait, what about the dreams that I had and the dreams of that? But you also have to balance it. You can't just say, these are my dreams, I'm not going to be dad. You got to find that perfect balance of husband as well as father, as well as career. And I think I've done a great job doing that. Do I wish I could spend more time with them? I think everyone wants to spend more time with their kids, but you have a job to do. And if you love your job, you want to do it even more. And so you just try to find that perfect balance.
Are your kids of an age where they know what dad does for a living? Like, do they know who you are, like, in terms of a professional wrestler for WWE?
They'll be like, the Miz, awesome. I came to play. Like, they'll do that kind of stuff, but I don't think they understand what I do. Like, I think they see it on TV, they see the bright lights, they don't really truly understand, but they're still kind of entertained by it, which is always great for me.
And how is Maurice? Does she miss being involved on a daily, weekly basis with WWE? And more importantly, do you miss working with her?
I think she loves, being a WWE superstar, and we still work together on projects outside of WWE. But would I like to see her in the ring tagging with me? Of course, that those are some of my most fond memories of being in the ring, are having my wife as my tag team partner, because in real life, she's my tag team partner. And in WWE, having a tag team partner. So it's cool.
Yeah. Like I said, Miz, I feel like 2023, you're building some of your best work. But before we kind of get into that, a few years ago, you went through this body transformation, which you were very open about. And there was a quote that I saw that you said you set out on a journey not only to get ripped, but to get healthier. And I would just love to kind of find out now, a few years removed, are you starting to see the benefits of those lifestyle choices? And was it purely just to kind of get more longevity out of your career with WWE?
I'm still learning. Every day, if you go on social media, there's a new thing. There's a new fad. There's a new trend that you're like, this is how you get more ripped. You're doing the wrong workout. Hey, when you wake up in the morning, the first 30 minutes, you should be like eating 30 grams of protein. Like, you see all these new things and you're like, wait, am I doing the right stuff? Am I getting healthy? But yes, I'm still triggered by, being as healthy as I possibly can. And so I have a dietitian that literally, guides me to eating the right foods, the right time, like the right quantity of food that I need. And also I kind of having that knowledge of what a dietitian, a person that actually went to school, studied this stuff. Now I can put it onto my kids, and my kids can go, hey, try this, not this, do this, do not that, just to keep, so you have the most energy you possibly can for the day. So your body is fueled and ready to go, and you're bright and you're ready. And that's what I feel on a daily basis. Now, are there times where I'm tired? Every Tuesday, I think I'm exhausted. One, because usually I have a match on Monday Night Raw. Two, because Tuesday mornings, I usually wake up around 4 a.m. to get on a flight that's 6 a.m. to get to LA, which is where I live, and then drive home an hour. So I'm usually exhausted because we're not done with Raw until like 11 p.m. So where's the time to sleep? There is no time, but I always do try to get 8 hours. Usually Tuesdays, I do not get those 8 hours, but every other day, that's my goal, is to get 8 hours of sleep. A lot of people be like, I never sleep. That's not a cool thing, in my opinion. That's you being unhealthy. And so I try to make sure that I have the most energy I possibly can to be the best I possibly can be at being a dad, a father, and a WWE superstar.
I think one of the domino effects of what you've gone through is, regular people perhaps don't have access to information like this, or dietitians and things like that. So when you are open about it and you share this knowledge, maybe someone that picks up on it and is inspired by it to kind of implement that into their lifestyle. So all credit to you for that. And obviously the proof is in the pudding, as they say. 2023, like I said at the top of the show, incredible year. I think you're doing some amazing work. But that's just me. How would you evaluate what you've done in WWE in 2023 thus far?
I think I'm the best I've ever been. I think every time I step in the ring with anyone, it can be a moment in WWE, and people can look at it and go, oh, wow. No matter what is given to me, whatever opponent I'm going up against, I feel my confidence is at an all-time high, whether it's in the ring, on the mic, whether it's on promo, anything. And I'm having a blast doing it. Like, I understand who I am as a WWE superstar. I understand who The Miz is as a WWE superstar. And my goal now is to elevate everything I do whenever I step in that ring.
What is your evaluation and feedback process like? Because obviously immediately I'm assuming you get it from the fans in the building, and then you kind of walk back through the curtain and you kind of get feedback from your peers and your colleagues, and then you kind of look at social media to see how people watching on TV kind of, reacted to it. Is that kind of what you kind of go through, and how is that process like for you?
As soon as you get back from your match or your promo, you'll have producers that are back there that will literally give you tidbits and ideas and how you could have done this better or that better. And you might be like, well, you've been there 20 years. Like, what are they going to, it's like, look, I'm a sponge. I want to learn. I want to keep learning. So if I'll tell you what, Triple H, William Regal, or any other producers backstage want to give me advice to help me be better and do better in that ring, I'm going to listen. I'm going to observe, and I'm going to take it into account, and then I'm going to utilize it to the next time. That's what I've always done. Ever since I first got here, I want to be a sponge. I continue to be a sponge, but I also want to teach, as well. I want to make sure that, this new crop of talent, and let me tell you something, this new crop of talent is absolutely unbelievable and are far away and above where I was when I was their age. And so I love watching the new crop come in and learn and observe and try to be better. And we're a team, we're a team trying to make sure that we put the best product out there. And right now, I think we are. And here's how I know we are, because whenever we have live events or televised shows, we have more people than I've ever seen in a live audience ever. Like I've been here for almost 20 years now. And when I go to a live event in, say, Johnson City, Tennessee, we're sold out. You can't even get it. You can't even come. Or, that was just last week, Washington, D.C. It was slam packed in there. I mean, we have Survivor Series in Chicago, sold out. Like, these shows are selling out. And I can't, like, back in, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, they weren't selling out. It was like, what do we have to do? How do we get better? How do we do this? And it's just kind of things go in waves. And right now we're riding that wave, and we're going to continue riding it, to where we feel we're doing the best we possibly can. And I think we're doing that.
Yeah. Something you mentioned there, the current crop of talent is incredible, but the youngsters coming up through the Performance Center and on NXT, are there any superstars and performers that you've got your eye on and you're thinking to yourself, man, at some point I would really like to work with that person?
Watch NXT. I'll work with any of them. You know what I mean? Like, all of them, seem to have the talent, the drive, the ability, and I can't wait for them to, get to Raw or SmackDown. I mean, I think Braun Breaker's been doing a phenomenal job down there. And so we'll see what they have and what they got. And, but right now, watching, NXT, it's like, oh man, like these guys, like they're and girls are absolutely incredible, and they're doing a remarkable job, and should continue to keep working, keep pushing, and keep studying.
Is there anything you haven't done in WWE that you would like to do or like to achieve, or just be given the opportunity to do?
Break the record for most days of having the Intercontinental Championship, and most reigns. Like, I'm one reign away for being tied for being number one. And I think 25 days away from being having the title the most out of anyone. I think Pedro Morales has me beat right now by like 25 days. So that would be a pretty cool feat. It'd be just another accolade to add to my already pretty stout career.
All those stats and accolades, like, is that important to you in terms of your resume, the legacy, in terms of opportunities given to you during this 20-year run?
Is it important to me? Yeah. I mean, yeah, I want titles. You know what I mean? Like, I think every superstar that comes to WWE, you want a title. You want one. Like, look what Logan Paul is doing with the United States Championship. Like, he's like wearing it, doing photo shoots with it, because you're proud. Like, this is something that has a long lineage, that has a history, that people have worn and have fought for, and to have the ability to hoist it up and say, yeah, I won this. It's amazing to me. And so, you could say whatever you want about WWE, but when you win a championship, there is quite nothing like it, because it is very, very difficult to do. And you might be like, no, it seems it's not. People put years, blood, sweat, and tears honing in their craft, locking it in, and never hold a title in WWE. Maybe they should, absolutely. But sometimes it just, your number isn't called. And right. I've been fortunate enough to hold them all.
Yeah, you certainly have. Like I said, 2023, you've had some incredible moments. I'd like to just pick on a couple that have stuck out to me personally, watching the show. You interviewing the invisible John Cena on Miz TV, in my opinion, that is the segment of the year. Could you just perhaps give some insight into the behind the scenes of what it was like putting that segment together?
Sure. So I got told by, I think, one of the writers, like, they were like, yeah, you're going to interview John Cena. And I go, he's not on Raw. Like, he's not there. And they go, exactly. And I go, invisible John Cena? This is the best. So we were sitting there writing it, and we were like, all right, how do we make this absolutely incredible? And I was like, I gotta hit him with a skull crushing finale, but you can't just hit him. You gotta play it a little bit, right? Like that he's there. Like you get so angry and then you start pointing at him and then everyone thinks, what is he doing? And then the push is what I think got the people in. Like when I had Invisible John Cena actually push me, that's when people, like the audience, that's when I realized, oh, this is getting everyone's into it. Like, this is pretty cool. And then I was like, well, now I would swing at him, he would duck, he would swing, and this is like kind of a thing I've always do, right? Like I always, someone swings, I get myself into Skull Crush finale and hit it. And so that's kind of how it all came. And like the way the audience reacted to it was so perfect, and it helped so much. And then the reaction afterwards of how people like reacted to it, you don't know. This could fall flat on its face. It 100% could. This is a very difficult promo to cut because you don't know how the live audience is going to be. You don't know if there's going to be that one guy that is trying to be a heckler that's ruining it for everybody else, or you don't know if people are going to gravitate towards it. Is it going to work? And so you go out there and you're live. You don't get 3 takes, 4 takes to do it. We're just putting this out there. This is what we think is going to work, and how do we get it to maneuver? And it ended up working to perfection because everyone was talking about it afterwards. And I'm really proud of that segment. I think everyone involved did an amazing job, which was basically me and Invisible John Cena.
Yeah, absolutely. Even just the actual, the overall production from the cameraman shooting as if John Cena is walking out. I just watched it the other day, and one of the top comments in the WWE YouTube video is, only The Miz could have pulled this off. So
well, Stu, that's what I was saying. Everyone involved, like the cameras, the camera angles, all the camera shots, like Stu is the cameraman that usually does John Cena's entrance. So when, so we were like, oh, like this was like coming down from like the top, like, hey, it's got to look like John Cena's entrance. So everyone got together and said, okay, Stu, how do we do his entrance? And you have to basically guide it to where he does what John Cena usually does. And Stu's a master at that. He's an incredible cameraman and does a great job. And yeah, everyone involved made it perfect, whether it was camera, whether it was behind the camera, whether it was writing, whether it was producing. That's a team effort. I get the credit, but it's an absolute team effort. And WWE as a whole is a team effort. And that's just what we do. We play to our best of our abilities, and we all put everything on there to make a segment absolutely great. Do we succeed? Yes. Do we fail? Yes. But that's what you get when you get live TV. You just don't know.
The other segment that comes to mind is the impersonation of LA Knight, which was, again, just absolutely phenomenal. Up there with the impersonations of The Rock and John Cena. If you're a longtime fan, you know what I'm talking about. But again, another great moment. Could you just maybe speak to that moment and in general, just being able to work with LA Knight? Because I think some of the best stuff WWE does is when the lines of reality and what's not real start to get a little blurred, and it kind of hooks us in as viewers. So give me your experience of working with LA Knight, that promo and that whole
I had a blast working with LA Knight, because he's the type of character that you can really lock in and like kind of make fun of, right? And he's going to spit fire back to you. And so like you need to come guns blazing. Like you need to come correct. When you step up and you're on the microphone with an LA Knight, you need to make sure that you are at the top of your game, that your mind is clear, and that you are ready to go. And he brought it, I brought it, and I thought we created such a great rivalry. And honestly, I think we had 2 matches, so I think it's kind of the beginning to me. I feel like there's more that could happen, but man, what an incredible talent. What a rise. And how about the WWE universe not getting tired? And that's to credit to him for the WWE universe not getting tired. Cause a lot of times you see a lot of these guys, the rocket's there and you see them come and they crash and fall, a couple months later. He's been doing this now in WWE, I'd say for a year. This trajectory, this wave has been coming, and he's been able to evolve, been able to stick to his guns, and literally go out there and do incredible stuff. Now, to imitate him was very, very easy because, I mean, he's a person that you can actually imitate. What's really hard is when you have a person that doesn't really have a character or catchphrases or anything. You can't imitate them. That's difficult. It's very easy to imitate someone that has a character, has catchphrases, has a yeah, you know what I mean? Like I had so much fun, and it was funny backstage when I was kind of going over my head and kind of getting his voice. Like I was trying to get into the character, so I had all this stuff on. People were mistaking me as LA Knight. They're like, "What's LA Knight doing here today?" And it's like, "Yep, got it."
You absolutely killed it. Well, look, this has been so much fun, Mike. A real pleasure to speak to you. Before I let you go, very, very quickly, could I get your WWE Mount Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore for WWE. I mean, am I included in this or no?
It's yours. You can include yourself if you like.
Clone myself a bunch of times and put every era of The Miz on my Mount Rushmore. There you go.
I love it. Like I said, a real pleasure to speak to you. Continued success in the WWE. And there's only one thing left to do. When my hand goes up, this interview ends.
Boom.